If you clicked on this video, that means you either have interest in drifting and you already started drifting and you're looking to get better in some way. What's up? My name is Captain Meeb, aka the Roadrunner of the Streets, an amateur drifter here in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm here to share some tips and tricks with you guys on how you guys can get started into your drifting journey or get better with me as we go along. Drifting is a high-speed, high-skill motorsport that requires precision and control. If you want to become a better drifter, then here are 12 tips to help you improve. Let's get started. Tip number 1 is practice. The most important thing to become a better drifter is to practice. Finding a safe location such as a skid pad or an actual track where you can hone your skills and learn to control your car in a drift. The time you spend drifting, the more comfortable you'll become with getting the movements and the better you'll get. That is one of the most pivotal parts about actually becoming a better drifter. You have to put that seat time in. If you talk to any professional, any amateur, or any person on a level that is beyond beginner, they'll tell you that seat time is king. No matter where you get it, no matter how you get it, you have to get that seat time, whether it's actually behind the wheel of a vehicle or if it's on a sim rig. Seat time, seat time, seat time is one of the most important tips that you can have when it comes to trying to develop your skills as a drifter. Tip number 2 would be to watch professional drifters. I would say watch professional drifters and learn from them. Pay attention to their techniques, their lines, and their car control. Take notes and try to incorporate what you've learned into your own drifting style. I'm not telling you to go out and try to completely copy or mimic some of the pro drivers because that would actually be impossible. But studying professionals in their craft, watching Formula Drift videos or even watching some of your favorite YouTubers on their channel, they often provide point of view footage in their videos where you can see how they manage the wheel and how their techniques are. You can see the outside footage of their car and how they manage to maintain those drifting lines. Reviewing and studying that footage can help you get a better idea and a better understanding of how to position your car or how to position yourself within the car to make it do exactly what it is that you want to do. For the third tip, this may be kind of obvious or actually may be the first thing that you want to do, but it actually isn't priority number 1 on your list, and that would be to modify your car. Your car setup can have a big impact on your ability to drift. Consider modifying your suspension. First, adding a limited slip differential or upgrading your tires to improve your car's grip and handling. Having a decent amount of tires can definitely change the way you drive exponentially, and you can almost feel a difference instantly when you have a good set of tires that are very good under heat, all-weather performance tires. Any good set of tires will give you consistency in your driving, will help develop your skills. Having a limited slip differential or actually just welding the differential in your vehicle makes the vehicle more predictable, and you can tell exactly when the rear end is going to kick out, and you can better predict on how to maintain and or initiate your drift. And for any wheels, tires, and suspension upgrades, head on over to fitmentindustries.com. I'll leave a link in the description below. Tip number 4 would be to learn to read the track. Understanding the track you're on is crucial to becoming a better drifter. Pay attention to the layout, the turns, and the transitions, and try to memorize the best lines for maximum speed and control. The track that you go to the most often obviously is going to be the one that you'll start to improve on the most. Bouncing around from different track to different track is good to broaden your field of vision, to help you practice different techniques and get you used to different driving styles. However, once you head on over to your home track and you practice on that one enough, you'll be able to read the track in a different way that you haven't done so before. You'll be able to memorize what's the best lines are, see some of the other local drivers who have been going to that track a lot longer than you have, and you can study the lines that they have gone to, and you can try to mimic those lines because that will develop your skill as a driver as well. Tip number 5 is to work on your technique. Drifting requires precise control of the throttle, steering, and brakes. Practice your technique and try to make your movements smoother and more controlled. A lot of times, beginner drifters, you will just kind of mat the throttle and you'll just be punching it and not showing how to actually modulate the throttle. Modulating the throttle in itself is a technique, knowing when to apply pressure, when to apply more pressure, and when to let off. All those subtle nuances go into controlling the drift, controlling your car, and making you a better driver. Same with monitoring those hand motions when you're on the steering wheel. You don't want to be flailing all over the place. You don't want to be all up here, choking yourself up, crossing your arms. Work on being controlled, relaxed, focus on your breathing. Drifting should be a calm, cool, and easy process. If you just take your time and practice working on your technique, you will slowly begin to improve, and you'll slowly start to see that you won't be as physically exhausted the more you drift. Tip 6 is to take actual lessons. If you're struggling to improve, consider taking lessons from a professional drifter or from some of the guys that host your local racetrack, your local race team. As you can imagine, they have tons more experience than you. They'll be able to give you personalized tips and guidance to help you improve your skills, because everybody was a beginner at first. So they'll be able to recognize the mistakes that you're making, and they'll be able to give you feedback on what you're doing wrong or what you may need to improve on. This kind of feedback will actually help level up your driving in many ways, because you'll be aware of things that you weren't aware of before, and you'll be able to figure out the reasons why certain things are happening and how to prevent them, which in turn obviously making you a better driver, developing your skills and your technique. Tip number 7, improve your fitness. Drifting can be physically demanding, especially during a long competition or track day. Improving your physical fitness can help you maintain better control and focus while you're behind the wheel. Focus on exercises that improve your core strength, coordination, and endurance, because those will be the muscles that you'll be flexing the entire time that you're on the track. You will sweat, you will get tired, you will develop fatigue without even knowing it, because it is kind of taxing to be in the car for hours on end doing the same repetitive motions. So make sure you're staying fit, staying healthy, so you can stay behind the wheel. If you're getting value from this video and some of these tips are actually making sense, smash the like button so I can know that I can keep providing awesome content like this to you guys. Now let's move on to the next tip. The next tip would be studying the rules. Drifting is governed by a set of rules and regulations. Make sure you understand the rules and abide by them whenever you're competing. Failure to follow the rules can result in penalties or actually disqualification. And there's nothing more frustrating than going to jump into competition for the first time, you don't know the rules, and you get disqualified. That would truly suck, and it would hurt not only your pride, but it would hurt your skills if you're not aware of the rules, because rules are a big part of the technique in which you'll be driving on the track. Tip number 9 is to analyze your drifting. Use technology such as in-car cameras or data logging systems to analyze your drifting and identify areas for improvement. I personally like to use a GoPro wearing on my helmet, and even sometimes on the car, to analyze the driving lines that I took so I can recognize mistakes that I have made. That gives you more of an objective view of your performance and help you make some necessary adjustments to get better. Always reflect on the things that you've done and look for areas to improve. It's the same with any sport. You always want to watch and see what you did wrong, what you did right, and continue to grow from there. We should always look to be getting at least 1% better with every performance. Which brings us to tip number 10. Getting 1% better, which means to prepare your car. Maintenance is key to a successful day of drifting. Make sure your car is in top condition with a fully charged battery, fresh oil, and properly inflated tires. Check all the fluids and brakes before you hit the track, and carry a basic toolkit in case of breakdowns or issues. I've seen many failures at the track because people don't do what we like to call a proper nut and bolt check. You want to check over all the suspension parts, get a marker, and easily see, mark all your nuts and bolts to make sure that none of the bolts are shifting, loose, or moving. Go with a physical wrench or socket, check every single one, make sure nothing is loose or has come apart. Typically, I like to change my oil before every track day just to make sure all the fluids are full and you always got to keep a set of tools handy because mechanical failures just happen sometimes, and you do want to be prepared. You know how the saying goes, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Drifting tip number 11, build a team. Drifting can be a team sport with drivers and mechanics working together to get the best results. Building a strong team can help you improve your skills and reach your goals. Surround yourself with a positive, supportive people who can help you stay focused and motivated. There's nothing like having an actual support system behind you that can really push you further to becoming a next level driver. Which brings us to our last and final tip of the day. Tip number 12 for drifting, and the last one, probably the best one I could tell you, is to keep learning. Remember that there's always room for improvement. Keep learning and trying new things. Attend drift events and meet other drivers to learn from their experiences and pick up new tips and tricks. Stay curious, stay humble, and keep pushing yourself to be the best driver you can be. Remember, becoming a better drifter takes time and practice. Don't get discouraged if you don't see improvements right away. Keep practicing and working on your technique and you'll get there. Good luck. If you're still new to drifting or actually haven't started drifting yet, head over and watch my video on the 5 things you need to actually start drifting in 2023. I'll leave a link up here and a link in the description below. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and smash the notification bell so you guys can get updated every single time I bring you a new video. And I'll see you in the next one.